Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest transfer rumours that's currently happening in the media reportedly. So potentially, as we all know, potentially Manchester United obviously are still in the search of recruiting a new director of football to come in, and as we all know, the club are still recruiting to get a full-time manager in on a full-time basis at the end of the season. As we potentially we know Ed Woodward's number one choice, and we know the club's choice is to potentially still, get Pochettino in to the job on a full-time basis at the end of the season, as we all currently know. But potentially, before we do commit to any signings, reportedly this is stemming from Ed Woodward. Before we do commit to any future signings, Ed Woodward wants someone to fulfill that director's role at Manchester United. And obviously, we know we've been interested in a few candidates as it's needed. But according to the press, Ed Woodward's number one target is Paul Mitchell, who's currently head of recruitment at RP Leipzig. As I did actually update you, was it on one of my videos yesterday? So before we commit to any more signings, Ed Woodward wants someone to fulfil that director's role at Manchester United of currently course, and then we may think about getting some signings. I think it's really unlikely we're going to make any signings in this January window now anywhere, because the January window, of course, is nearly over, as we all know. But Paul Mitchell's reportedly been mentioned. He's head of recruitment at RP Leipzig. He's also got a very, very good relationship with Pochettino as well, because he's previously worked with Pochettino. Because as we all know, regarding Mauricio Pochettino, he's also our number one target, to come in on a full-time basis to take that managerial position at the end of the season. Even though Solskjaer had a fantastic start at the club, as we all know, 7 wins out of 7, 6 in the league, become the first manager to win his first six league games, since the great Sir Matt Busby. As we all know, he's potentially beaten Sir Matt Busby's record, as we all know, 7 wins out of 7, 19 goals scored in the process, which is very, very good to see. As we all currently know, and he's still got a few, players he's interested in getting into the club. He's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I do think there'll be players leaving as well, and we've still got players, as we all know, coming to the end of the contracts. As I currently said. But first, Ed Woodward wants to recruit a director of football to come in, but we've been interested in a few candidates, as I said. Paul Mitchell has reportedly been mentioned, as I said. So he's head of recruitment at RP Leipzig. I think he's been there now almost a year, reportedly. It's going to take a battle for Manchester United to get him, reportedly, because RP Leipzig are keen on keeping him. They want to get him to a new contract and offer him a bigger role at the club. This Paul Mitchell. He's actually born in Manchester as well. Is Paul Mitchell, as we all currently know. He's previously been, as I said, head of recruitment of Tottenham and Southampton, so potentially he does have a good relationship with Mauricio Pochettino, reportedly, because he was responsible for the signs of the likes of J.J. Lovren and Sadio Mane, and he was responsible for the signs of the likes of was it Toby Alderweireld and Dele Alli as well. So he's been responsible, for quite a few signings as this Paul Mitchell reportedly, and he has got experience as this Paul Mitchell as it currently has confirmed. But I think RP Leipzig are keen on keeping him to sign a new contract. But reportedly, he is Ed Woodward's number one choice, to come in to fulfill that director's role at Manchester United. But Ed Woodward wants to do this first before we commit to any, future signings, and probably, recruit a full-time manager to come in at the end of the season. He wants someone to fulfill that director's role, as he currently has confirmed. But we know that we've been interested, in a few targets, as we all know, to get in. We know, obviously, as he did say, Pochettino's still number one to come in at Manchester United. At the end of the season, reportedly still remains the number one choice. Does Mauricio Pochettino. Obviously, in my opinion, I would keep Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, on the job on a full-time basis, especially if we do beat Arsenal on Friday, because that is going to be a tester for us, as we all currently know. But I will give him the job on a full-time basis, because Solskjaer, as I said, he knows the culture of the club. He's put the belief back in the team. He's put the confidence in the team, and he's got the team motivated as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. As we all know, and it's 7 wins out of 7. As we all know, he's got the team playing in the right vein, the right manner. We're creating more chances. Pogba's getting the freedom to express himself, as we all know. I think the front men are getting the freedom to interchange, as we all know. The fullbacks getting higher up the pitch, and we're just playing in the right vein. And Solskjaer's demanded to them players to go out there and express themselves and enjoy, get them to enjoy playing football. And this is what Solskjaer has exactly done. So he's put the right mentality into the team, as we all know. And he's known for winning trophies, because he won a couple of trophies, when he was managing the reserve team. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer won a couple of trophies. Then did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when he was managing the reserve team, and you watch some of these players grow and develop as well. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when he was managing managing the reserve team, and he obviously won trophies, when he was a player for Manchester United as well for like 11 years under Alex Ferguson. He won 6 Premier Leagues, he won quite a few other honours as well, scored 126 goals and stuff like that, 126 goals and like just under 400 appearances, was it, in all competitions for Manchester United as well. But potentially, he has been discussing about getting the job on a full-time basis, and Solskjaer said he would. Solskjaer said it's unlikely we'll make any signings in this January window. He said he doesn't expect us to make any signings in this January window. But the difference is with Pochettino, he hasn't won any silverware as a manager, and he's still looking at his first major honour as manager, as Mauricio Pochettino. But he's a good manager. He's Premier League proven. He knows about the Premier League, as we all know, does Mauricio Pochettino, because he has been managing since 2009, and he's doing very, very well with Tottenham. He's got a good bunch of players out there for Tottenham. It's unlikely Tottenham are going to make any signings in this January window, but the transfer policy has been very, very poor since Pochettino got recommended in. They've only spent £50 million since 2014, but Pochettino's been there 5 seasons. Growing and developing young players. He had a good record at Southampton as well, and he signed a 5-year deal last summer with Tottenham, as we all currently know. So potentially, rumours were coming out the other week suggesting now it's unlikely we'll get Pochettino now anywhere, because according to Daniel Levy, the chairman, he said he's been ruthless and he's standing firm, and he did say even if Manchester United were willing to offer in the excess of 50 million for Pochettino, Daniel Levy would not let Pochettino leave, reportedly. So potentially that could be in jeopardy now. Anyway, I think he's fully committed to Tottenham. I think he's happy at Tottenham, to be quite honest, because obviously Tottenham have got a new stadium coming up. They're in with a shout for the title this season, of course, and obviously they're in the League Cup, the Carabao Cup semi-final, as we all currently know. So there's still possibility they could get Pochettino could win some silverware with Tottenham this season, as we all currently know. But we still know he's our number one to come into the club on a full-time basis at the end of the season. But I think Solskjaer should definitely get it if we do definitely, beat Arsenal, as we all know. But obviously, we've still been interested in getting a couple of signings, into the team, as we all know. I don't think we'll get any signings now in this January window. I think, signings will probably happen in the summer, to be quite honest with you. But if, as I did say, if we can get contracts for Martial, Pogba, Rashford and De Gea, that would be a fantastic window for us as well. We had a disappointing transfer window last summer because we only got three players. We missed out on a lot of top targets, that we currently wanted to get into the club, as we all currently know. So potentially Steven Bergwijn, as reportedly been mentioned in the press in the last couple of days, I've been hearing about it. Reportedly he prefers to move to Manchester United over Tottenham, because reportedly Tottenham have been interesting, because Tottenham could have a problem now because they've got Harry Kane out until March, as it has confirmed. So potentially Steven Bergwijn, reportedly he prefers to move to Manchester United. I think a few teams have expressed their interest in him. He's got a contract with PSV Eindhoven until 2022. He actually can play on each wing, so he's versatile, this player, very, very young in his prime. He scored 10 goals and assisted 9 this season for PSV. Reportedly Manchester United have instructed scouts, to keep a close eye on him and monitor him. This Steven Bergwijn, and reportedly he's rated at around 26 million pounds, or something like that. But I think a few teams have been interested. I don't think PSV are willing to do any business in this January transfer window, reportedly. So it may be a deal that would be likely, to happen in the summer, reportedly. But he's Dutch as well, and he's 21 years of age. He's this PSV player, and since he's got into this first team, his performances reportedly have been very, very impressive indeed. He used to play in the PSV reserve team. He actually played for PSV in his youth career, and he actually played for Ajax in his youth career as well. Did this Dutch player, but he is 21 years of age, and I think do you think he'd complement our team very, very well if he was to come to Manchester United? Because we have got quite a good few young players in our team. We've got the likes of Lingard and Rashford, who looks very, very effective, centrally, and Rashford's been in fantastic form, being a Manchester United player since the age of 7, as Marcus Rashford, and he's, progressed up the ranks fantastically well, as Marcus Rashford, as we all currently know. And obviously, his first choice, over Romelu Lukaku, as we all know, he has been first choice over Lukaku, because obviously with the likes of Rashford and Martial, who've got pace, who can press out the pitch, such as Lingard, who's got pace, who can press out the pitch. Lukaku is not capable. So what Rashford can offer in that central position, Lukaku can't offer that, as we all know, because he's slow, he's static. I do have strong reservations, about Romelu Lukaku, to be quite honest with you. I think he has rejuvenated his form, since he was coming, as we all know. He scored 3 goals in his last 5 games. Is it, 2 of them, from substitute? But I think he could be, used now as a super sub, could Romelu Lukaku, because obviously Rashford is first choice over, and I think Lukaku's slow. His first touch does concern me, but he's still a proven goal scorer in the Premier League. He's Romelu Lukaku, as we all currently know. But as I did say, the likes of Lukaku and Sanchez, they're falling down the pecking order now, because obviously got Martial taking the position, like Rashford taking the position, and Lingard taking the positions as well. So potentially Sanchez and Lukaku obviously no longer first choice, as we all currently know. But as I said, with Sanchez, he's had a difficult time, since he's come to Manchester United, to be quite honest with you. He's failed to emulate, what he did at Arsenal, because I thought he was a really, really good player at Arsenal, to be quite honest with you. He's on £505,000 a week, so he's on just over £500,000 a week, is Sanchez. He may get the chance to actually feature against Arsenal with Alexis Sanchez, but obviously he's had quite a few injury problems, as we all know as well. This is potentially why he probably hasn't been in contention, Alexis Sanchez. But yeah, as I did say, do you think that Steven Bergwijn would complement our front line? Because he is young, just like Lingard is young, and Rashford's young, and Martial's young, and all that. Is this Steven Bergwijn? His performances reportedly for PSV this season have been very, very good indeed. But it's also said Tottenham have expressed their interest in him as well. But reportedly the player, from his own perspective, does prefer the move to Man United, and reportedly we have instructed scouts, to keep a close eye on the player as well. We know also too that we've also been that reports coming out the other day saying that we was interested in that Benfica young player. His versatility, this player, he's versatile, this player, because he's called Felix. He's a Benfica player, he can play as a secondary striker, an attacking midfielder. And I'm sure he can play. Can he play as a right wing? Yes, he can play on the wing, which I think he has been doing for Benfica. So he can play as a winger, a secondary striker, and an attacking midfielder as well. He's 19 years of age. Is this Felix? Reportedly, a few teams have been interested in him. Reportedly, he's got around the 105 million buyout clause as well. Reportedly, he's yet to make his senior debut for Portugal. He only broke into the first team at Benfica last year, did the player. So reportedly, since he's got into the first team, reportedly this player's performance has been very, very good indeed. It did actually say a few teams have expressed their interest in him. It did reportedly say that Liverpool had around a £61 million bid rejected for the 19-year-old, reportedly. Reportedly, a £61 million bid was rejected. But I can't see Liverpool, to be quite honest with you, investing in this January window, because obviously Klopp's invested in the last couple of seasons. They addressed the defensive deficiencies with the signing of Virgil van Dijk, and they got the likes of, they've got a good attacking trio with Sadio Mane, Firmino, and Salah and all that at Liverpool, and they've invested in the last couple of seasons. Obviously, they're going for the league this season. Liverpool, obviously, they haven't won a major honour since 2006, and of Liverpool, as we all currently know, and potentially haven't won the Premier League since it got founded in 1992, 1993, and overall they haven't won it for 28 years of Liverpool, as we all know. So that's nearly 3 decades. So potentially Liverpool will, from their perspective, will want to get some silverware from their perspective on the board this season. It's definitely between Liverpool and City, for the title this season, without a shadow of a doubt. Tottenham are in with a shout, but I could see, potentially, Tottenham filtering away, to be quite honest with you. But obviously, our other transfer targets have been as well. We know we've been interested in a few central defenders, as we all know, that have been mentioned in the press. We know Koulibaly is our top transfer target to get in at the club. It's unlikely, as I said, we'll get a deal over the line for Koulibaly, to be quite honest with you, in this January transfer window, because the Napoli president's confirmed that they're not willing to do any business in this January window. He's been in Italy now a number of years as Koulibaly, but as I did say to you, I think it's unlikely he'll be leaving in this January window. I think the reason he wants to leave Koulibaly, because the majority of the reason is that back on Boxing Day last year, he suffered racial abuse, and this is one of the reasons why Koulibaly wants to leave. And we know he cost us in the excess a lot of money. He cost us a lot of money in the excess, but we have got that financial power to meet that valuation, because so far we've had 3 bids turned down. The recent one was 95 million. That was turned down, as we all currently know. But I think he's rated at around over £100 million anyway. Napoli only paid £7 million for him from Genk, but he's one of the best players in the world, in his current position. He's 6'5", as we all currently know, as well. He's Koulibaly, and reportedly Real Madrid have also, expressed their interest in Koulibaly as well. But yeah, I can't see him, leaving this January transfer window, to be quite honest with you. But we know he has been our number 1 target. We know we've also been interested in Eddie Militao. He's been another potential Manchester United target, as well as Eddie Militao. But as I did say, it said Real Madrid have reportedly been interested in him. It did actually say Liverpool have also been interested in him as well. What am I doing? It did actually say Liverpool had been interested in him as well. As I said, 20 years of age, versatility, very, very good. Can play as a defensive mid, a centre-back and a full-back. I think he's predominantly a right-back. He's got a 40-odd million release clause in his current contract. Only been at Porto since last summer, as we all know, as Eddie Militao as well. But he's been a target for Manchester United, as we all know. Not a number one target, but we have showed, we've expressed our interest in the player, as we all know. Reportedly, his performances for Porto have been very, very impressive this season as the players. So reportedly, we have been interested in him. We know we've been interested in Milan Skriniar, as we all know, but reportedly now that looks in jeopardy, the Milan Skriniar scenario, because reportedly, as Lucy Spelter confirmed, nobody can afford him. Because reportedly Inter Milan are looking to renew his contract, and reportedly he's rated at around 75 million pounds. That is a lot for a 23-year-old. He's still very, very young, his prime Milan Skriniar, as we all know. But yeah, Man United have been linked to him. I think he's a good player, Milan Skriniar. He's nowhere near on the same levels as Koulibaly, because obviously Milan Skriniar is 4 years younger than Koulibaly, as we all currently know. But obviously he's got a lot of years ahead of him to grow and develop more as Milan Skriniar. But reportedly, my club, Manchester United, have also been interested in him as well. We know obviously we've been linked with the likes of Toby Alderweireld, as we all currently know. I said he's 29 now, Toby Alderweireld. He's aging up, and I think he has lost the pace a little bit, Toby Alderweireld, to be quite honest with you. Tottenham extended his current contract till 2020, as we all know. So potentially, they've included 25 million release clause in this, so he will be available 25 million in the summer. Will Toby Alderweireld, and he will leave in the summer. To be quite honest with you, Toby Alderweireld. But obviously, we do need a strong central defender, as we all know. That's one of the key areas we do need to strengthen. We'll probably need someone on the right hand side as well, because as I did say, all our attack is coming from the left. As we all currently know. But defensively, Bailly hasn't featured much this season, as we all know. He's struggling to get game time under his belt. I think Phil Jones and Smalling will be gone next season as well. In my opinion, will be gone next season. In my opinion, I think potentially Marcus Rojo will be probably gone in the summer as well, because he's still injured. I think. Well, he has been injured. He's had a lot of injury problems since he's come to United, so he's been known for injuries since he's come here. And obviously, as we all know, he's been struggling to get game time. He's been struggling with his fitness regime, as we all currently know. So it's likely he could be gone in the summer to make some room in that central defensive position as well, Marcus Rojo. But I do think, there will be potentially, players leaving Manchester United, as I said. And I said the same thing, regarding Marian Fellaini as well. Obviously he's injured for 3 or 4 weeks now. As we all know, he's Marian Fellaini. So I could see Marian Fellaini leaving. He said actually, Solskjaer was open, he was actually open, to selling Marian Fellaini. Was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But now he's out 3 or 4 weeks with a calf injury. A few teams have expressed their interest in Fellaini, but I don't see how he fits in this new regime or this new system at Manchester United, to be quite honest with you, Marian Fellaini. So potentially I can see Marian Fellaini, leaving the club, to be quite honest with you, because he's not going to fit in this new system at Manchester United or this new regime. So I do see, Marian going. I also too, I probably see Valencia, going in the summer as well, to be quite honest with you, if I'm going to give my own opinion. Because Valencia's been a very, very good servant over the years. He is now, 33 years of age, as we all know. He has been here since 2009, don't forget, as Valencia, and he's been here, 10 years, so is it now. He's made over 300 odd appearances, but obviously Ashley Young now is our first choice right back, as we all know, and Valencia's hardly featured this season, as we all currently know. But to be quite honest with you, I do see Valencia, probably leaving in the summer. I think reportedly West Ham have expressed their interest in Antonio Valencia as well. So in my own opinion, I do see Valencia, leaving the club. It probably won't be until the summer, but he's been a good servant over the years, as Antonio Valencia. He's won everything here, of course, apart from the Champions League, just like Ashley Young's won everything here, apart from the Champions League, and Young's been here a good 7, 8 years now, and he's made over 300 odd appearances. Maybe Young may leave. There has been speculation about him leaving, but I think Man United have been in talks of trying to get him a new contract extension, as we all currently know. But, I've been very, very impressed with Nemanja Matic. I think he's dramatically improved under Solskjaer. He's looking more effective in his passing, his distribution, and that's improving his galloping forward more. So I have been very, very impressed with Matic. I do think Matic is slow, to be quite honest with you, but he does add some good physical attributes, but obviously we know he's slow, and I do have strong reservations about him. But I think his performances have dramatically improved under Solskjaer. And hopefully, somewhere along the line, we can get these players new contracts. So we want to get new contracts. Ander Herrera's coming to an end of his deal as well. His contract expires in the summer, and hopefully we can get him a new deal, because I rate Ander Herrera. I think he was a good signing when we got him in 2014 from under Louis van Gaal when we got him from Atletico Bilbao under Herrera, and I think he's becoming more of a regular now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's becoming more of a regular. He's playing a big part. He's playing a big part in the team because early on in the season he wasn't getting really a lot of starts under Herrera, but I think he complements our midfield fantastically well. Does under Herrera, to be quite honest with you. So hopefully somewhere along the line, we can get him a new deal at Old Trafford. And hopefully we can get these new contracts for these players as well, which would be fantastic. If we got a new contract for De Gea and Martial and De Gea, Martial, and Rashford and Pogba, that would be absolutely fantastic indeed. But news is coming out regarding Anthony Martial. So now he's reportedly on the brink now of signing a new deal, because potentially from Martial's perspective, he does want to sign a new contract with Manchester United, because I think he deserves to be, because his performances have been very, very good, and he stands out very, very well on that left hand side, because he creates that width very, very well. Does Anthony Martial? He's performed very, very well this season, but reports coming out suggesting that he's demanding that he wants a new contract. He's preparing to negotiate with his current representative about getting a new deal at Manchester United. I think it's going to be a deal worth up to £150,000 a week reportedly, and it's going to be a brand new 5-year deal Anthony Martial is going to be signing. So he's going to be under contract here until 2024. Which is a very, very good news indeed. So potentially we are on the brink of getting him a new contract term at the club. Obviously, Anthony Martial, as we all currently know, last year activated a 12-month extension on his current contract, just like we did with David De Gea. To be quite honest with you, but there was strong speculation about Martial leaving last summer due to his bad reputation, due to his bad relationship, that I had with Jose Mourinho here. So there was strong speculation of Martial leaving, and actually he turned down a contract offer back in October last year, and his agent come out saying he was pessimistic about Martial signing a new long-term deal, and he actually demanded his current agent that he wanted to leave last summer, did Anthony Martial. But now he's very, very happy, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in, as we all know. So now he's willing to commit to a new long-term contract, is Martial, which is very, very good to see. And he's 23 years of age, so if he signs a 5-year deal, that will take him to 28. As I currently said, so we'll still get a lot of years out of him, and he has been here now since 2015, so he's been here a good 3.5-4 years now as Anthony Martial, as we all know. And same with the De Gea situation. Hopefully somewhere along the line, we can get De Gea a new contract term at the club as well, because he's committed to his Manchester United future. As we all currently know, he wants to stay at Manchester United, as he has confirmed, David De Gea. I think he's looking, if he's to sign this new deal, I think he's committing that he wants a wage increase in this new deal. I think he's demanding that he wants about £300,000 a week. Does David De Gea as well, but you're potentially the best goalkeeper in the world. We've had him here a number of years, and his progression's been absolutely fantastic indeed. And we've had him here, of course, since 2011. David De Gea, as we all know, so he's been here a good 7-8 years, something like that. As De Gea, he's won everything here apart from the Champions League, of course, and potentially, he's won the club's Player of the Year 4 out of 5 seasons. He's won the Matt Busby Player of the Year, quite a few times. As well, but he's been a fantastic keeper, and he's made over 300 other appearances, since he's been at Manchester United as well. I think this is in all competitions as well. But what a goalkeeper! And I think he's nearly made 100 clean sheets now. Is it in the Premier League? I think he's nearly made 100 clean sheets. So he has made 100 clean sheets in the Premier League as David De Gea. We know there was strong speculation 4 years ago of him going to Real Madrid in 2018, but he stayed at Manchester United. And we know the likes of Juventus and PSG have also been interested in him as well. But obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to get new deals for De Gea and Anthony Martial. This is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer confirmed. So that's looking likely, that's going to happen, and that will be positive news for Manchester United. Same with the situation, regarding Paul Pogba as well. He come out in the media the other day, as he updated, just saying he's demanding a new Manchester United contract, is Paul Pogba, because obviously, there was strong speculation about him leaving last year, especially, the last stages of Jose Mourinho's managerial tenure, because he had a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho and didn't get on with Mourinho, Paul Pogba, and this is why there was strong speculation of him leaving last year. And even Paul Pogba, from his own perspective, actually admitted that he did want to make a return to Turin, where he had 4 good years, before we obviously got him back when we paid £89 million for Paul Pogba, obviously our most expensive signing, as we all know. But he's come out as Paul Pogba. He's feeling very, very happy now because he's getting the freedom to express himself, as I did say. And he's getting the best out of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. All the team is, and so too is Paul Pogba. And he's one of the best midfielders in the world when he's playing in this sphere. And he's Paul Pogba, and he's a player that can be on 12 to 15 goals a season when he's playing like this. As we all know, he's been scoring and he's been providing, as we all know. As Paul Pogba, but as I did say, he was demanding that he wanted to sit down and negotiate with Manchester United about getting a new contract. He's got currently 2 years left on his current one, as we all know, but obviously he will demand a wage increase, if he is to sign this new deal, Paul Pogba. He's probably somewhere looking along the lines of what, currently Sanchez is receiving, because obviously Sanchez is our highest paid player. As we all currently know. But we had Pogba when he was a lot younger in his prime, he actually began his senior career with Manchester United. This is when we had Alex Ferguson, but obviously he left for Juventus. We let him go on a free transfer because potentially Ferguson wasn't guaranteeing him first team football. This is why he went to Juventus and had 4 good years, Paul Pogba. We didn't see the best out of him under Mourinho, and I think we still had Mourinho. He would have left in this January transfer window without a shadow of a doubt. But now we've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in. Paul Pogba will probably commit to a new contract. Which will be very, very good news indeed. Which will be very, very good news indeed. So the latest news basically is regarding Steven Bergwijn. As I said, PSV player can play on each wing, under contract till 2022. Reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has reportedly, identified him as a possible signing for Manchester United. Reportedly, he's been interested in the player. He's actually told Man United to go sign the player. Man United have instructed scouts, to keep a close eye on this Steven Bergwijn. However you pronounce his surname, it's Bergwijn or whatever. But he's very, very young in his prime, as I said, 21. He is Dutch, is this playing. Reportedly, his performances for PSV have reportedly been interesting. Very, very good. Reportedly, it says Tottenham have also expressed their interest, but from the player's perspective, he's come out and said he prefers the move to Old Trafford. Reportedly, there's this Steven Bergwijn. So potentially, it's been coming out in the last 3 or 4 days. I've heard about this rumour mill that we have been linked with this Steven Bergwijn reportedly. But I think from PSV's perspective, they're not willing to do any business. They're not willing to let him go in this January window, and I think he's rated at around 25, 26 million pounds reportedly. He's this player, as we all know. But so far, the Solskjaer getting the best out of the players, out of these group of players. As we all know, the passing's improved. We're creating more chances, scoring more goals. I think defensively, we've slightly improved, but we still know we need a central defender, getting fullbacks out of the pitch, the team working together as a team. And he's got the belief back in the team. And he's put the fear factor back in the team as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's gotten playing the way, they used to play under Ferguson for 27 good years. And I think this team can become a replica of what the team achieved and did under Alex Ferguson, in my opinion. And obviously, our objective this season is to get into the top 4. We're still in there with a shout for the top 4. We are level on points with Arsenal now, as we all know. We've still got a great chance of winning the FA Cup, this season, as we all know. We know Arsenal's going to be a very, very difficult game on Friday, to that. Still got a chance of the Champions League. I can't see us winning it. I don't think we're good enough at the moment, to win that at the moment. We probably are still at least a year or two off winning the Premier League, as we all know. But as I did say to you guys, obviously first, before we commit to any signings, according to Ed Woodward, as he has confirmed, he wants to recruit a director of football to come into the club to fulfil that role. Ed Woodward's number one target is Paul Mitchell to come in to be the new director of football at Manchester United, and this is what Ed Woodward has explained. We've been monitoring interest in a few candidates. A few names have been mentioned. I can't remember the names, but a few names have been mentioned. But reportedly, Paul Mitchell has reportedly been identified as number one. We may not get Paul Mitchell. Because potentially RP Leipzig are still looking to keep him as head of their recruitment, and they're willing to offer him a bigger role at the club and not trying to get him to a new contract to stay at RP Leipzig. He's been at RP Leipzig almost a year now. He's actually born in Manchester. He's Paul Mitchell. He has a good relationship with Pochettino, as I said, because they've worked together in the past. As we all know, he was head of recruitment with Southampton and Tottenham. Was Paul Mitchell, obviously, when Pochettino was there, and he was responsible for quite a few other signings of Tottenham and Southampton. Was Paul Mitchell as well, and obviously he's our number one now to come into to be the director of football. And obviously Pochettino's our number one to come in on a full-time basis to take that managerial position, as we all know. But I'd give Solskjaer the job anyway, because he knows what he's doing. He knows the culture of the club. He knows the strappings of the club, and he knows everything about the club. As we all know, there's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and especially if we beat Arsenal on Friday, he definitely deserved the job. But out of his 7 games, we've only played the real test was the Tottenham game. That was the hardest game so far that we had out of these 7 games. We've won. That was the only hardest game. The rest of them have been pretty easy. To be quite honest. So Arsenal will be a tester on Friday, and that preview will be coming up very, very soon. As I currently said. So anyway, drop your comments, likes below on the channel, guys. If you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again soon, guys. Thank you.